I have 107 feet of conduit that I've already laid in the ground that goes from here into the mechanical room. So my control post or my disconnect post is going to be set right here, and then the array will be between me and the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and start digging this post hole, and we'll see if it fills up with water or not. Now what I plan to do is to use concrete in the bottom couple inches of the hole, and then Sika makes a product that is an expandable urethane that you can fill in around a hole, and it's easier to remove if you ever have to remove it. It's moisture activated, so the moisture in the ground, which we have plenty of, seems to work to activate it. Now I'm actually going to be using a product that is made by Sika. It's essentially the same product. I use it on dam repair projects a lot. It's called Sika Fix HH, and it comes in 5-gallon units, and it has a tremendous expansion. It'll expand about 20 times from the volume that it comes as a liquid, and it is moisture activated. Now the one problem I may have with it is it's lighter than water, so if these holes fill up with water, it won't expand into the water, it'll expand up, and I would end up with a void down below it. So that won't work. So I'm hoping to be able to have a hole that stays dry at least long enough to be able to set a post. I'm down about 1.5 feet deep with that post hole, and I do have some water coming in. It isn't coming in real fast, so I think what I might be able to do is go ahead and get everything ready to go, and then finish digging the hole, put in just a little bit of concrete. In fact, there may be enough moisture in the ground, enough water in the ground at that time that I can mix the concrete essentially in the hole by dumping in part of a dry bag and then kind of stirring it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready to go, and then maybe we'll try to set that post and see if my Sika Fix idea works. All right, I have dug a hole a little over 2 feet deep, a little bit of water in the bottom of it. It's come out, as you can see, pretty muddy. I've bailed it out with a paper cup a couple of times, and it seems like the water that's been coming in is actually slowing down a little bit, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a shovel full of dry concrete, maybe a couple of them, try to stir that up a little bit, then set my post, plumb it up, then I'll go mix up some Sika Fix and fill the hole the rest of the way with that. We'll give it a few hours to set and see if that actually is something solid that I can use for the rest of these posts. I'll wait for the dust to settle just a little bit and see how much I got in there. Stir it up a little bit. I'll put in a little more. That will probably do it. Oh yeah, that is going to be practically perfect in every way. Kind of like Mary Poppins. That's very nice. I haven't decided yet if I'll put the disconnect on the this side or this side, but I want it to be fairly facing true north and south, wherever it is. Okay, I've set up a couple braces, so let's make this thing just absolutely perfect. Perfection that way. And goodness, we're at about perfection that way. So I think before I get too much water filling back in there, I'm not able now to reach down in there with the cup to bail it out. I'm going to go mix up some Sikafix. I'll be right back and we'll pour that in. All right, well, what I'm going to do is there's a little bit of water in the hole, and this is moisture activated for expansion. I've stirred up a little bit. I realized I didn't have any mixing pails here, so I went and looked through some of the old trash that was in one of the campers, and I found this, which seems to be working just fine. So I'll go ahead and pour this in. I'll stir it into the water that's there, and then I'll sit here and watch for a little bit and see if I've mixed up enough. Probably not. There's maybe enough there to go an inch deep in the hole, which may or may not be enough. Let's see if I can find a stick around here long enough to mix that up. And Sikafix is something you definitely don't want to get on you. I think I'll go ahead and mix up a little more. It is starting to activate. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's starting to turn to a foam on the end of this stick. I'm going to mix up some more. Be right back. Now there's a little bit of an art to mixing this Sikafix. The perfect proportion would be 1 pint per 5 gallons. 1 pint of accelerator to 5 gallons of Sikafix. And when you're mixing up small batches, you got to kind of guess. If you don't put enough, it'll take forever to expand, and also you won't get quite as much expansion. If you put in too much, it'll expand a lot and rapidly, but then as it cures, it'll collapse. So better to not have enough than to have too much of the accelerator, that is. Okay, that seems to be working down in the hole. I'm going to give that one more stir before I add any more. Oh yes, it's starting to thicken a little bit, getting a little bit of expansion down there. We'll take a look after I add some more. You can see by the way I kneel to do my work and then having this dripping Sikafix on so many jobs that my trousers usually look pretty bad and they get stained pretty badly, and even after washing them they still look like something terrible. Okay, well, we are starting to get some expansion. A little more all the time, and I think it's expanded now to above the incoming water level, so we should be in good shape there. Now, the one thing that I have heard people complain about setting posts using a urethane, and I'd love anyone's opinion that has used it, that they complain about this Sika material, the stuff that's actually designed specifically for this, with posts coming loose. And the one thing that I know about this is that if it's going to take the path of least resistance in its expansion, which in this case is going to be up. Well, as you come toward the top, you'll have it boiling out of the top and maybe not expanding to the sides as much as you'd like. So what you have to do is to prevent that upward expansion. So as I watch this and it starts getting closer to the surface, I'll start pouring a little bit of dirt on top of it to help it to expand sideways and hopefully prevent post movement. I'm going to go ahead and check it again for being plumb. And for north and south, it seems good. I need to push it out just a little bit. Just a little more. That is perfection that way. And we're still looking at perfection in that direction. I'll see if I can stir it up any more and what's happening with the expansion there. It has become a gel. So I'm going to let that work for a little while. You can see it as a gel sort of dribbling off of this slowly. We'll let that work for a little while and I'll see where we are for elevation. I'm probably going to have to put in more, I would guess. We'll see. Stick around. Well, I probably didn't even need that second batch. There's been good expansion in it. Looking down beside the post, there's really no need to throw any dirt on top of it. I've got good sideward expansion on this. So it'll take a little while for it to set up completely. But you can see it's already hardened up substantially. So it usually doesn't take more than a couple hours for this to reach its full cure. And then I'll just take a saw or shovel and cut it off at ground level and I should be in good shape. I have two posts left to set, one in the center, both front and back, and then that'll take care of the posts. So I think what I'm going to do is I will have you join me again when I get to doing the cross bracing. But before I can do the cross bracing, the solar panels that I have are bifacial panels, so they will absorb light from not only the surface but the backside too. So I am going to put in some weed barrier here and some of that light colored limestone gravel that I think will go a long ways in reflecting light up to the backside of the panels. Come back with me tomorrow.